Welcome back to the Chasing Pars Golf Podcast, which is in association with Bunker Brigade Golf Apparel. So, Bunker Brigade Golf Apparel is a golf clothing brand formed in Lanarkshire, Scotland last year in 2024 with the ethos of premium high quality gear for affordable prices. So, if you are interested, please check the website and never know, maybe give yourself a little bargain. But in the meantime, I'm joined by another great guest in the form of this year's LPGA Tour rookie, Jessica Porvasnik. Nearly got that wrong, sorry, I do apologise. uh, Jessica, you're currently residing in Jacksonville, Florida. How is that for you?
Yes, really nice. Getting into some nice months here, less humidity and perfect weather.
Just in time for Christmas golf, yeah, with the weather and stuff.
Yes, this is the best time of the year to play down here.
So you're actually from Hinckley in Ohio. So how does that compare to obviously being in one of the major cities in Jacksonville, Florida?
Uh,
What's it called, Madison?
it's definitely, you can play golf all year around here now. That was kind of one of my goals. I mean, when I was looking at colleges, I kind of wanted to go south so I could play all year, but I ended up picking a different school and staying closer to home. And so it's nice now to be able to just, I don't have to worry about practicing inside. And we do get a little chillier in the winter months down here, but nothing compared to Ohio.
Yeah, you were saying to me briefly off air that like sometimes in Ohio in winter it can be sometimes below the minus. I mean, that's cold.
Yes, very cold. Very cold. You'd be bundled up. You're probably hitting inside. I grew up hitting in the basement a lot, and yeah, so it's nice to not have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of worse places to be than Jacksonville, Florida. So yeah, I can imagine it was a good move.
Yes.
So so it's your rookie season this year after finishing fourth on the Epson Tour last year in 2024. So first of all, how have you found your experience on the LPG Tour? And is it a lot tougher than what you thought it would be, or is it just like you knew what to expect?
It's definitely been a little more challenging. Basically going from any level, there's always something else. And so this year, the travel's a little more. You're constantly flying from event to event, cross country, versus like last year on Epson, I could, drive everywhere. I maybe flew 3 times last year. So it's definitely the travel is a lot more wearing on you. And then learning a new course every week. Last year on Epson, I had played 2 years prior, so I knew all the golf courses. When I showed up, I did my homework, but I didn't have to do a whole lot. So being a rookie, you're constantly, everything's new to you, new venue, just trying to figure out, where everything is in the clubhouse. So it's a big learning year, and it's taken a little while, but it's finally seemed to come together.
Yeah, so you just come off your career best finish on the LPGA Tour so far, in your career, fourth at the Lotte Championship in Hawaii. I know. Obviously, majority of this season maybe it's been a little bit, below expectations, possibly, but to finish fourth, in Hawaii, it must have been a massive sigh of relief for yourself and like just to think I belong here now. Look, I can finish in the top 10. It must have give you confidence, is that right?
Yes, lots of confidence. Yeah, really the last 3 events kind of gave me a good boost. I had been battling changing a little too much, I would say, at the beginning of the season, trying to find a little more spin out there. The green seemed to be a little firmer than what I was used to. And so I just kind of was trying different shafts, different balls, and kind of just said, all right, I need to go back to what I had last year and kind of set up my equipment all the same. And the last 3 events were great. So that's kind of where I'm going to go from there. Where I'm going to go for the rest of the season and into next year is just, sticking with what I had and trying not to tweak too much.
So do you think, with going back to the tried and tested as such from the action last year, you just admitted yourself that the last three events have been much better. So do you think going forward, if you stick to the original set that you had, that maybe you could have a consistent year in 2026?
Yeah, definitely. I did too much tinkering going into the season and even throughout the season. So it's hard when you don't know where the ball's going. It makes it that much more challenging to play this game. So it was nice the last 3 weeks to just, step up to the shot and know that it's going to be somewhere near the hole and not way right or way left. So it's a good feeling.
So I believe you've got one event left of the year, the Annika. Is that right? And then, so you're currently 107th on the CME list. The top 100 automatically regain their card for the next year. So you never know. Going back to the old setup, possibly with a big finish in Florida at the Annika, that can maybe see you inside the top 100. How pleased would you be if you managed to finish inside the top 100 in your rookie year?
Yeah, I mean, that would be truly amazing, especially with the kind of the start of the season that I had. So just kind of going into the last event, not really looking at the points, just knowing that just got to go out there, play my game, and just trust the process and know that what happens, happens. And that's what I can control is one shot at a time and have fun out there.
So, how would you describe your on-course demeanor as such, like this year? Like, would you say that you've tried to be patient? Would you say that you maybe got a little bit, cross at times? Like, how would you describe yourself?
I'm definitely very patient out there, try not to get too down on myself. I knew I could do it. It was just a matter of like not being able to hit the shots I wanted and, working with some coaches and, on strategy and whatnot. And it's not always the strategy for me. It was like I just couldn't hit it where I needed to hit it. So making those few changes here the last 3 weeks have really helped. And now I feel like I can just have the confidence in my game to know that, yeah, I can easily do it and be out there.
So, say you do finish outside the top 100. So, is it a case of going back to final Q school LPGA?
Yeah, if I finish outside the top 100, I will go back to final stage in December.
Yeah. No one wants to go there.
No, yeah, it's a battle. It's a stressful week, but sometimes you just gotta do it.
Yeah, like with Q School, so like even with LPGA, even with the Ladies European Tour Q School as well, like it's some of the toughest days, toughest events that you could face, especially under the utmost pressure as such. Like, how would you describe it from your own experiences at Q School? Like, if you had to describe Q School in 3 words, how would you describe?
I mean, one is just stressful. I struggled to get out of stage one for 3, 4 years. I always put too much pressure on myself. Leading up, I would play really good in all these tournaments and then just didn't play well at stage one. And so then I didn't get any status. So for years out of college, I had nothing really to play on. I played on a couple mini tours, the Women's All Pro Tour, and kind of got me into the Epson and then now LPGA. But yeah, it's a stressful week. I mean, you just have to stay patient and you can't put all that stress on you. That's kind of what I've learned. You kind of have to change the mentality of it and just really tell yourself like I can do this and I know like I can play this game really well and just try not to stress so much.
Yeah, I think it's important to be relaxed. Like, obviously, easier said than done, but like if you're relaxed, you've got, you know, a world of opportunity in your near future. So I think that's the best one.
Yeah, relax. That's a good one. Yeah.
I mean, easier for me to say as an outsider, but I imagine being insider of like it can be difficult, to relax. But going with that right mentality, there's no reason why you like say you did go to final Q school that you could regain your card again next year. So um how positive no how much of a positive is it to have a positive mindset like if things do go wrong?
Oh, definitely. I think that's just, you have to have a positive mindset in, everything, everyday life and whatnot. And I kind of learned that in college from my college coaches, and just you have to be positive. I remember I talked negatively about my putting, and my college coach made me write down 100 times that I'm the best putter in the world. So it's just like you have to really believe in yourself. I think that's key too. Like you have to truly believe. If you don't, nothing good's going to happen.
So, what would you say as a player is your greatest strength on the golf course, and what is maybe one weakness that you're kind of working on?
Um, I would say like mentally, I'm always in a good spot. I've always been working towards like in my game personally, just trying to get my irons, a little better and better each year, because that's where like if you can hit it closer, you're gonna score better, make more birdies, less bogeys, and um, just yeah, getting a little more consistent in the striking of the irons for me has been huge.
Have you got a favorite course or one of the states that you've been to this year that you played?
Yeah, I really enjoyed Black Desert in Utah. It's on like all this lava rock, black lava rock, so it's really cool. It's like the fairway, maybe a hair of rough, about a yard or two, and then all lava rock. So it was really cool, and just to be out there, the views are amazing, all the red rock out there. It was a great venue.
Yeah, I mean, that's literally like the temperature that week. It looked like it was absolutely roasting as well. So I can only imagine that was a little bit of a struggle, with the old sunburn and all that.
No, it was fun. Lots of fun.
So taking it back to the start for you, so how did you kind of, first get introduced to the game of golf?
Yeah, so I started when I was 12. My parents don't play golf. So my aunt took me for my first lesson one summer. I would go and spend like a week with her each summer, and she's like, "Let's go get a golf lesson." And I was like, "Golf lesson?" Like I played fast pitch softball at the time and kind of loved that. I love the team aspect of it. And so we went and got a lesson, and the pro was like, "Wow, you have a great swing. Like, you need to get going in golf." And so my aunt looked into a program that we had at our middle school back in Ohio, and just really kind of fell in love with the game. I had an awesome set of high school teammates. We just thrived off of each other. They'd take me to tournaments, they'd bring me out to their country club, like just really got better through them. They pushed me to get better, and it was just I from there I fell in love with the game and just kind of really took off.
So, like, obviously, you just said there that they said that you had a great swing already, but like, how much have you had to work on that swing? So, like, in terms of like when you first started, did you always did you always know that you can, hit the ball well as such?
Yeah, I look back on it and think that like softball really helps because, that ball is coming at you pretty fast and you got to like time it up and all that, whereas this ball's just kind of sitting down there on a tee. Different type of swing, but in a way like kind of easier. It's not moving. But no, I've definitely had to work on my swing over the years, and it's not like picture perfect. But I just kind of realized that like, and not all swings are the same. And so I'm not trying to make my swing look like somebody else's, because I just know that physically I might not be able to do that. So just always trying to add a little bit each year, I think, but not trying to like overhaul it, um, is kind of key for me.
So, like, if you could get the picture perfect swing, who would it be? So, from like your tour mates, I mean, the obvious answer would probably be Nelly, I suppose, but.
Definitely. Yeah, that's what kind of came to my mind. But there's a lot of good players out on tour. Yeah, it's just fun. I got to play a practice round with Gino and Minji, and it's just kind of cool. It's cool to see and kind of be out there. You're out there every week with them, but you don't often see them. So it was nice to play a practice round with them. So super cool.
Yeah, so to basically observe what the best in the world are doing, you could take inspiration and maybe one day you can maybe do the same.
Yes, exactly. That is exactly how I looked at it. Yep.
Were you starstruck at all, like with Gino and Minji in the you're like, oh, hello, my name's Jessica, like shaking and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. It's at first you're like, "Ooh, wow, how did I get put in this?" But it was fun, and everyone is really nice out on tour. It's a good atmosphere, but you don't often get to see everyone's on their own schedule, so you're kind of out there by yourself, week in and week out. Whereas like on the Epson, I felt like it was a little more everyone's kind of all out there together and a little more friendlier. So that's another thing that's been a little different this year. Is just you kind of gotta find out what works for you, and find activities to do outside of golf, because it is long weeks, and just got to take your mind off of the golf sometimes.
Yeah, what is your favorite activity outside of golf? I presume eating ice cream, I seen, was an interesting fact.
Yes, yes, definitely. You like to try different ice cream spots at each venue, and when we were back in Ohio, it's nice to hit up Graders, and yeah, I'm a big ice cream person. I'll try basically anything.
So, what would you say? So, if I had to ask you your top three flavors of ice cream, what would it be?
Like a chocolate brownie would be one.
Oh,
Uh,
yes.
anything with chocolate and peanut butter. And then I do like the Grater's black raspberry chocolate chip. That's always one of my go-tos.
So, effectively, anything with chocolate in it is
Yes,
you're
yes,
happy.
definitely chocolate. Yep, it's my go-to.
Yeah, I was saying off there that pistachio seems to, have taken off in the world as such. Like, have you ever tried pistachio? I don't know why there is a craze at the minute.
I've tried it, but it's not for me. Not my favorite.
Yeah, I mean the color doesn't look appealing either.
Oh, yeah, the color is interesting and just not really sweet enough for me.
Nah, fair enough. So how often would you say that you have ice cream? Like quite a lot?
Um, yeah. When I'm home, probably not as much, but on the road a little more. If my parents are on the road with me, my mom's always like, "Hey, let's go get ice cream." So, just the influence of family, I feel like they're always like, "Let's try it." I'm like, "I need to be on a diet." But no, it's definitely a lot more on the road than at home.
I don't I don't think many pros will admit that they love to indulge in ice cream consistently. So not fair play. I mean, they'll probably keep that a secret, to be honest. So
Right.
no, but it's good to be open and honest about it. Everyone loves ice cream, So
Yep.
so you went to Ohio State University, and in that time you were a 2010. And oh, sorry, I got mixed up there. Sorry, 2014 Big Ten is what I was trying to say. So the 2014 Big Ten individual champion and the Player of the Year. You were a four-time Ohio State University scholar athlete, and you played as an amateur as well at the US Open Championship in 2014 at Pinehurst, number two. We'll start off with your decision to, go to Ohio State University. Was that always on the cards?
No, like I said, I kind of was looking more to go south, just knowing that the winters in Ohio were not as good and I wanted to be able to practice all year. But I've visited multiple schools and just kind of realized that I wanted to be closer to home. Even though I was 2 hours away, I didn't get home a whole lot, but just being comfortable knowing that I could easily drive home if I wanted to was comforting. And then the college coaches, I had done a couple golf camps and just really looked up to Coach Hession, Therese Hession, and Lisa Strom. They played on tour too, so I knew that, if I wanted to play on tour, they were the ones that were going to help me get to the next level.
So in your time at Ohio State University, what would you say you are most proud of from your time there?
Um, I would say like growing mentally, like I said, with the being positive, coaches were always on you about that. But then, in my game, I think my short game grew a lot. I came in only ever hitting like 60-degree wedge, and Coach Hession was like, "I'm going to take that thing out of your bag." So, uh, they kind of made me more well-rounded in my game, and I had learned so much from them, and I still keep in contact with them to this day, and I'm still learning from them. There's constantly things they're teaching me, and it's helping me get to the next level.
Yeah, it's good to know that obviously you still got that chemistry with, your coaches and stuff from back in the amateur days. I take it like they're just a phone call away if ever you need anything.
Yep, phone call. They've both come out to events this year, to shorten up. I have questions and they're like, we're in Michigan. I'll drive over and see you. Or I was in Cincinnati. They're like, I'll drive down and come look at the game. So they're always there. If I need anything, they're not afraid to come help. And I love that.
So speaking about the Big Ten individual championships, so like to win that, it's a pretty prestigious event. So like how did you feel after, the final putt went in and you knew that you won the championship back then? I take it was for yourself a massive achievement.
Yeah, definitely. Being a freshman, I think there's a lot of unknowns. You don't quite know how everything works. So it was my first Big Ten tournament. So just kind of going out there playing my game, and when I found out I won, I was like, wow, cool. And then we won as a team, so it's just super exciting. And yeah, I look back on it and think, wow, that was awesome.
And when you have like the trophy in your hands, etc., it must be a satisfying feeling.
Yes, definitely. I think at the time, like, it didn't quite sink in, but now looking back, it was just some of the greatest memories I had. I had wonderful teammates, and same thing as in high school, my college teammates, we all made each other better. We worked hard and had a great time out there. Lots of fun.
And also in your time at OSU as well, that you were a Big Ten Medal of Honor finalist as well, and you contributed to 3 Ohio State Big Ten Conference championships as well in your time. So just thinking about like the team chemistry, the team spirit at Ohio State, what was that like? And I take it like when you're all friends and stuff, it was easy to perform to the best of your ability as such.
Yeah, I look back on it, like, just had, you know, uh, all my teammates were honestly from all different countries, and it was just fun to, learn about their culture. And we just thrived off of each other. I remember some of the time we would laugh so hard. Like, it was just a lot of fun. And I even had my one of my best friends from back home ended up coming. So when I was a junior, she was a freshman. So just having people you're comfortable with, and it was just the coaches, we all thrived off of each other. It was a lot of fun. And I think that's what helps make teams more successful too. Yes, you're all competitive, you all want to win, but you also are pushing each other to be better, and it's only going to help out.
So going into your pro career, you decided to turn pro in 2017. What was the decision making to, take that next step?
I think going into college, they ask you, when you're getting recruited, do you want to play professionally? And, you say yes, but you don't really truly know. But by senior year, I knew, yes, this is really what I want to do. And I want to, now that college is over and studying's over, I want to commit 100% to playing golf and see how successful I can be. Because, studying and playing college golf, it's hard. It's a lot to battle, the travel, trying to figure out all your tests and homework and all that. It's a lot. So to be able to commit 100%, every day, like, now you have countless hours to practice. So I knew I wanted to definitely give it a try. And so, yeah, in 2017, I turned pro and I never looked back.
So just looking at your, career trajectory as such, is very interesting because, of course, you turned pro in 2017, and this is your rookie year on tour. So there's a big 8-year gap between reaching the pinnacle of ladies sport. But in between that, you become a little bit of a mini tour specialist as such. So what was it about these, mini tour events that suited your eye as such, and you were able to become very successful like on these mini tours?
Yeah, I think what's kind of changed over the years is when I came out of college, there really wasn't a true mini tour. There was a Florida tour. I don't know if it quite was all year round. I think it was kind of like more in the winter months. So I played a little bit in that, and then I just did a lot of state opens. And then probably 3 years in, the Women's All Pro Tour came about, and that had this like incentive. If you finished in the top 5, you got to skip stage 1. So that was like my ultimate goal. I'm like, all right, I'm going out there. I want to skip stage 1. Well, that was the year COVID hit. So I had won the first event, and then we shut down for COVID. So then your status kind of all stayed the same that year. So basically that year was kind of shot. And so then the next year I'm like, all right, I'm going to try to do it again. So went out there that year, finished in the top 5, and was able to skip stage 1 and ended up getting my Epson Tour card. And so played 3 years out there, kind of the same thing as my rookie year out on LPGA, was learning the ropes, how it all works. And so it took me 3 years out there and finally got my LPGA card for this year. And yeah, it's been a journey. It's been a grind. It's never easy, but I don't know. I enjoy the grind and always trying to get better.
So, if you were to kind of describe yourself, would you describe yourself as a what's the correct word I'm trying to say? Would you describe yourself as, a grafter, a grinder as such? Like from, the mini tours to the Epson tour, finally onto the LPGA tour. It's been a long time coming, but you've kind of, scratched and clawed your way to the big time.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Just very determined and, knowing that you're gonna have your ups and downs and you just gotta kind of fight through it, and eventually your work's gonna pay off. If you're doing the right things, it's bound to.
So obviously being from Ohio to win 2 Ohio Women's Open Championships must have been very special for you, obviously. To win on your home state not once but twice. Perfect.
Yeah, it's just a fun event. Always had a great host family, and it was always a fun week. Many Ohio State players would come and play too, so it was nice to see everyone. And I look back and those are some of the greatest memories. My sister played in it one year. Yeah, it's just a lot of fun.
So is that kind of one event a year that you'll have, well, maybe not hundreds, but like quite a lot of people following you. So like friends, family, everybody following you, like at the Ohio Women's Open Championships events.
Oh, honestly, not many people really came out for that one, like because it was in Defiance, Ohio. My parents were working at the time, so truly not many. My host families would come out and watch, but other than that, not really many people. But like this year, getting back to Ohio, my husband's side of the family, they all came out, and a lot of friends and stuff. So it is nice to always get back to Ohio because I think you do get a bigger showing, and it's just nice to see everyone. Nice to have that support.
Yeah, I mean, it's always good to have that, support network, like everybody coming out to watch you and stuff. Must be a good feeling.
Yeah, it's a great feeling.
And so obviously a big part of your career so far has been the Epson Tour. How grateful are you for what the Epson Tour has done for you? And then like obviously with Epson Tour, you've got that step up. You've got the step up to the LPGA Tour. How grateful are you for all that they've done?
Really grateful. I look it back on it like each tour, not only the Epson Tour, but the mini tour, the Women's All Pro Tour, like each step in my career, those have been huge for me. Intermental. But I mean, they all play a key role in my success and, making me a better player. And, competition is so good at each level. So it's just been a lot of fun and I really have enjoyed it.
Yeah, I was about to say there, that's my job to make a meal of the big words. So it was,
That was what I was looking for.
It's quite funny to see someone else struggling and not me. Usually it's me, so
Oh my God, trying to think of the
instrumental.
word. Instrumental, yeah.
So yes, so on the Epsom tour, as when you first got onto the tour in 2020, I believe it was, is that right?
Onto Epson, no, it would have been,
2018, is that right?
I think it claims that year, but like I had only played there the last 3 years. So I played in 24, 23, and 22.
Oh, okay, right.
When you first get status, like if you go through Q school, it says you're like on the Epson tour, but in reality, you're not. Like my 3 full years were 22, 23, 24.
Right. So thinking about the 2022, um, full time on the Epsom tour. You managed to get a few decent finishes. So sixth at the Casino del Sol Golf Classic, 29th at the Garden City Charity Classic, 25th at the Murphy USA El Dorado Shootout as well. So to have at the Epsom Tour level a few good finishes under your belt. How are you feeling at that stage, like in your first full year?
My first full year, it kind of, looking back, it kind of reminds me of a lot of this year, honestly. It was, didn't make many cuts. I was just kind of learning how it all works out there and trusting in my game. I mean, you get out there and you're like, wow, I don't know if I belong out here. But then in reality, like you have a couple good finishes, you're like, I do belong out here. Like I can do this. So it's just kind of getting over that mindset of like, me not really believing in myself, but yes, I've made it this far and I can do this. So I think I compare the Epson rookie year to this year, the battles, the struggles, but yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
So, in terms of 2022 and 2023, what was the major changes that happened? Because in 2023 was a much, much better year for yourself. So pretty much, yeah, the 13th to 24th, 11th, 14th, 9th, 9th, 6th, and 23rd of the Epsom Tour Championship finals as well. So, like, to rattle off them finishes that year, what changed?
I think experience, that first year, every course is new. You've never played any of them. That second year, it's like, I know where to miss it. You have that experience under your belt, and so you're already going in there with even more confidence. That's kind of what I would chalk it up to.
Yeah, um, I mean that's understandable, I guess. Like playing each course the second time round, it can only be a good thing for experience level. So
Yeah. And then like looking back at last year, like 2024, I would say like, yes, it was definitely, now I'm playing the course for the third time, but I would say my game was all around in a better spot. I think I was hitting lots of fairways. I can't remember the exact amount, but lots of fairways, lots of greens, and giving myself lot of opportunities to make birdie, which is really helpful.
So to be in contention last year in quite a few events on the Epsom Tour, so you had a couple of second place finishes. You also had a third in there at the Tuscaloosa Toyota Classic as well. You had a fourth at the Copper Rock Championship, sixth at the Hartford Healthcare. So to have all these top tens, in one season, that kind of alludes to your point that with more experience and your game feeling much better can lead to better things. So to be in contention so much last season, was that for you? Like, how did that make you feel? To be in contention as such, with the chance of winning golf tournaments. That's what every pro plays to do. So to be in contention so much must have been a good thing.
Yeah, it was definitely a good thing. And I think it helped prepare me for, honestly, this last event in Hawaii, being in the last group, the second to last day, just knowing that I mean, I've been in the last groups before, not at this level, but just to kind of know to go out, play your game, and just stick to the process and don't get too far ahead of yourself. I think were all things that I had learned from the Epsom Tour coming to this level and just kind of helped me propel me to have a good week out there.
So from the Epsom tour, from those that got their card last year, is there quite a few of the girls that you're still very good friends with, like when you see them on tour?
Yeah, definitely. I think the 10 to 15 of us who are out there, and then also had a couple friends who got their card through the top 25 at final stage. Yeah, we're all close, and it's nice to see familiar faces out there.
Any name? No. Any names? You get a name?
I'm close with like Kate Smithstroh and Kristen Gilman. She graduated the year prior. But yeah, it's nice, to go and play a practice round with them, and or else you're kind of playing by yourself or with a lot of people you don't know. So it's fun. I'm meeting a lot of people, which is always fun, and just in trying to enjoy it, soak it all in.
So from so do you like when you're not on the golf course, do you still keep up to date with some results on from the Epsom tour as well? Like so this year, like did you get to watch much at all or
Yeah, I'm constantly following a lot of my friends from out there, honestly, and cheering them on when they have a good round, sending them text messages because they're following me out here. So definitely, I'm always tuned into the Epson tour and follow them on Instagram, so get to see what's going on out there.
so is there anybody in particular that you're excited about seeing next year that's got their card this year from the Epsom tour? So from 1 to 15, is there anybody in particular that you're like, wow, she could be a potential superstar at this level?
Yeah, I think Riley Smythe, she'll do really well, hits the ball really far, and she's got a great game. So I think she'll really excel out on the LPGA Tour. It'll be fun to watch her.
Nice. So there you go. Anybody that's listening, that's your future star right there from Jessica Porvasnik herself, Riley Smythe. So you heard it. So what would you say? What would you say? Outside of golf, what are your kind of main hobbies that you enjoy doing? So, like sports wise.
Yeah, I picked up pickleball maybe like 2 years ago. I haven't played much this year, kind of looking forward to the off season to kind of get back into it, but I enjoy pickleball, play with my husband and family, so it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that seems to be another kind of craze, pickleball. I think the other one's paddle or something like that.
Yeah.
There seems to be quite a lot of competition nowadays.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to be quite popular on tour. So like this tour and Ladies European Tour seems to be quite popular as well. Why is that? Is it just a fun game? Is it just the competitive spirit? Like what is it?
Oh, I don't know. I was never good at tennis, but this is just smaller court. We play a lot of doubles, so I don't know, it's just fun. It's something to like for me to get my mind off of golf, kind of reset, something I can do in the off season. I have heard there's a lot of injuries, so just for me, I'm like, well, I'm not gonna do it during season, but yeah, just kind of it's something to go out there and play with my husband and we have a good time.
So for future reference, if you become injured, we know what's happened. You've overdone it with the pickleball.
Yeah, hopefully not, but yeah.
So I believe you're big into like working out and stuff as well, and meeting with friends. Like I take it anything outside of golf to take your mind off of golf is pretty much good for you.
Yes, exactly. Having a nice day on the beach is always good.
Yeah, I mean you can't complain, especially with some of the weather in the States. Like it's consistently sunny, so why not?
Yep, exactly.
So I just want to kind of finish with a few general questions for you. So your favorite cuisine, like, so what would you say is your favorite type of meal?
Ooh, gosh. I enjoy on the road. I like to hit up like a good Mexican spot if I can find one.
So what would be your order of choice? Would it be like tacos, enchiladas, fajitas?
Yeah, if they have a good taco or definitely fajita, steak fajita.
A steak fajita.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I I've had steak fajitas before, and I have to agree they're very, very, very good. So yeah, I have to agree with that one, to be honest. So um, what would you say is your favorite type of music as such? So it could be off the golf course or on the golf course preparing. Like, are you big into music?
Not crazy. I'll work out to some music. I'm a country. I'll listen to country in the car. But I don't know all the. I'm not really like a geek into it. You could be playing something and I wouldn't know who sings it or anything, but I just kind of listen to country.
So if you had to sing on the karaoke, would you?
No, you don't want to hear me sing. No,
So you couldn't be tempted to sing one verse of a song on a karaoke, no?
no, no, no.
No, fair enough.
I'm out.
Fair enough. So growing up, was there any sports teams that you supported or enjoyed?
Yeah, so being from Ohio, we're a big Buckeye family. Root for the Browns, but they're kind of struggling, and the Cleveland Guardians too. So those are kind of my sports teams.
So all the American sports. So that
Yeah, I wasn't big into like my husband now, you guys call it football, I think, over there. So
yeah, proper football, not
yes,
soccer.
right. He watches, I don't, he'll be mad at me for this, but I don't know which team he roots for, but yeah, he'll watch that on either Saturday or Sunday morning. So, but no, I just, I would say I wasn't that big into sports growing up as I am like now after college. And
So you mainly like, you know, college sports teams or professional sports teams, would you say?
um, probably like Ohio State football, and then like NFL will watch like this time of the year it's all football. Saturdays we spend watching the Buckeyes, and then Sundays we're watching all of my husband's a Ravens fan, his stepdad's a Bengals fan, so we're just constantly watching game after game.
Is there any sport that, you just can't get into at all? So like for me, to be honest, out of the American sports, seems to be baseball. That goes on forever. Like,
Yeah, it's gotten better, but no, I mean I could sit down and probably watch anything. I There's not one that I would say I would want to watch more than the other, but I
apart from apart from proper football.
yeah, kind of learning more about that now.
So, I'll finish with the last question. So, what would be the future goal for you when you finish the game of golf? So, what would you want to be your legacy as such?
Like how I want to, like what I would have wanted to accomplish.
Yeah, so effectively, like when you finish the game of golf, like what would you want to be remembered by? So like just this kind of hardworking like I don't know if you say the word grafter as such that's worked their way to get to where they want. Like, would you ever consider, like, the coaching route as such?
Um, Maybe potentially, but I don't know. I don't feel like I could probably teach it as good as other people. Like I look at the coaches that teach me now, and I'm still learning. So I try to give some little kids some help in clinics, and I'm just not as good. But who knows? I mean, maybe golf. I have a finance degree, so honestly, maybe something in that. But I haven't thought too far ahead, just because I know I want to play for a while, and I have kind of high goals for being at this level.
Yeah, I felt a little bit American there. I said route instead of route. So yeah. Oh, felt a little bit American there. So is there any chance of seeing, the Jessica Porvasnik Academy as such in a few years' time?
I don't know. I would say probably not.
Um, so so basically, all that's left to say is thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for your time, and fingers crossed you don't have to go back to final stage of Q school because yeah, that's stress.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. All the best at your last event at the Annika, and fingers crossed you finish inside the top 100, and hopefully see you next year on the LPGA.
Yes, sounds great. Thank you.
Right, thank you, Jessica. All the best. Thank you.
Thanks.